At 9 o'clock, dinner come. It consisted of dal, which is like lentils, rice, and sabji, which is boiled vegetable. And at that time it was some stuff called sitafal, orangey stuff, like a bit like a marrow. Anyway, put the dal into my glue pot and got some rice on some newspaper, so that went into the glue pot, and so did the sabji. I just sat down in a total daze, and then 11 o'clock in the morning we were ordered back into the barrack and we were locked up until 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock they reopened us up. The guy come with chai again and I got a cup of tea. By the way, I didn't eat the food. The smell of it, I just couldn't eat it, like. So that went in the bin. And then at 4 o'clock, dinner come, which was exactly the same as what we had in the morning, so I didn't bother with that. At around 6 o'clock at night, they locked us back up, and that was it. Back into my 18 inches of space in a world of shit, you know. I couldn't think forward because I didn't have a clue what was going on. Nothing. I just didn't know what was going on. And I just started crying again. And afterwards I'm thinking, why am I doing this? I couldn't understand why I was going through such emotions. Yes, I was in Tihar, Asia's biggest maximum security prison. But crying didn't help the situation. And that night, I had a very, very fitful night. And the next day, it started all over again. No different. Unlock, 5 o'clock, 5:30. Chai, potato, bread, and sabji and all the rest of the food. Anyway, after the first 3 days of the same routine, I spoke to one of these guys in a convict suit and asked him if there was a library I could go and get some books I needed to read because I had too much tension in my head. So the guy took me down to this room. It was, I don't know, 3 meters square, that's all. And it was filled with books. And I proceeded to get books. Anything, it was just fiction books, anything that I could read. And while I was there, I could hear this squealing like a pig. It was like a pig squealing. And I looked out of this little window that was in this library over to a place called the Chakar, which is like a set of offices inside the jail where the assistant superintendent sat and all his minions and whatever. And there was a guy trussed up like a chicken, swinging off a pedestal. And he was having his feet beaten with a lathi stick. And a lathi stick is a solid piece of bamboo. And this guy was screaming. He was screaming. I started shaking, like, I thought, what's going on? What are they doing? Anyway, after some time, they took him off this trestle and then they made him run up this concrete path. And when he come back, he had another beating. They just beat him with lathi sticks. At that point, I thought, I've got to get out of here, I can't watch this. So I hurried back to my ward and I got stuck into my books. Reading, and at that time, saved me. I was reading a book in a day and a half. Didn't matter how many, 300-400 page book. I would read them in a day and a half. I've always enjoyed reading. And it was my saving grace. That's all I can say. It was saving me. And this is how it was for 3 weeks. And then one night I was called to the front of the barrack, where all the just iron bars, and there was this guy stood outside. And it was a Englishman. And I'd heard about this guy and I thought they killed him because he should have been in jail 3 weeks before. Anyway, they kept him for whatever reasons, and there he was. So this guy, I'll call him Dan, because I don't know if I should give him his real name, but anyway, I'll call him Dan. And he came, and that night they let us sleep together inside one of the rooms, which was, it was okay. I mean, it was a big room. It was 25 people sleeping on one side of the wall, and on the opposite side there was another 25 people with about a metre space in between that went right down to the bottom to where there was toilets that I just wouldn't venture to in any shape or form.